The Last Flame is brain-ticklingly good in the way all the best roguelites are. I've been playing it almost constantly for the past few days, and it's consumed my thoughts when I'm not. This auto-battler comes out the gate making a mockery of its early access banner. There are dozens of heroes you can fit into your 5-man automated warband, and hundreds of items you can customize them with. You've got these snacky 25-minute runs where you escalate your way through the floors, face increasingly powerful enemies, and progress your cross-run unlocks. If that's all it was, I'd still love it. A competent indie facsimile of your favorite multiplayer auto-battlers is already compelling on its face, but what takes The Last Flame to the next level is a thorough examination of its RPG statistics. It does the Pillars of Eternity stat rebalancing thing where it makes all upgrades relevant across all character types. Spell power is useful for characters that don't wear pointy hats. Attack speed is useful for ones that do. It's clever design that sounds minor at first, but multiplies the build-making opportunities 100-fold. Almost every screen is exploding with viable paths forward. There's a ramp-up period for sure, but if you're willing to invest the time into The Last Flame systems, you will be rewarded with an endlessly joyous and tactical roguelite experience. Any examination into what makes The Last Flame good is going to be pedantic. Stat flexibility sounds like a corny selling point until you're really intimate with it, so let's get into how it works just a bit. You start every run by picking 2 heroes among a randomized selection of 7, then acquire a few more after the first couple of battles. Each hero comes with their own base stats, a passive and an active, which fires off automatically whenever the hero hits maximum mana. How does the hero hit maximum mana? The answer is one of the many small ways that The Last Flame encourages build diversity. Your auto attacks generate 1 mana per swing, and just like that, attack speed is now an incredibly relevant stat for your wizards. That kind of why would X archetype want X stat question has its answer manifested on almost every keyword in the game. Burn, bleed, freeze, crit, none of these words do what you think they do. They've all had this versatility tuning applied to them. This is more than just a superficial detail, but instead a core game tenet, seen obviously in the way that items work. As you ascend each floor after each battle, you'll get some loot. Importantly, this loot comes in 2 forms: basic stat stick items and enchants, more conditional effects that you attach to those stat sticks, then equip to your heroes. This divorce of the numbers from the powers gives you a lot of ways to mix and match all the little baubles in front of you, and that's what makes the game so endlessly fascinating. In one run, I had a mage whose active was to summon down a powerful pillar to deal damage to everyone underneath once he reached his required maximum of 8 mana. Your most conventional play might be to load him up with some spell power and boost that pillar's damage, but in one run I was able to take that to a perverted extreme. I had a bunch of items that were plus spell power and plus max mana at the same time. Keep in mind, extra max mana is typically bad in this game because it means more required auto attacks before your active kicks in. But then I found an item that capped my mage's mana at 3 after the first 20 auto attacks he did in a battle. This allowed me to do a few things. I could load up on a bunch of double-edged swords that increased my max mana, knowing that their vices would be invalidated when I hit the required attack threshold. And I could also grab a bunch of attack speed to hit that threshold sooner. That's exactly what I ended up doing, and once he got the required warm-up time in per round, he had near perpetual uptime on his big laser. That's just one example from one character. Keep in mind they don't exist in a vacuum. That exact strategy begs many related questions for his team. Should I complement him with some other long-term scalers? Or, assuming he's a good enough engine to run the car on his own, should I find party members who front-load their utility at the start of a round to cover for him while he's at his weakest? Items are not bound to characters on equip, so you always have this mid-run build pivoting flexibility in front of you, and tailoring your party per encounter will be relevant once you hit some of the game's harder challenges. It's an incredibly good time. There's always a million things you could have done differently, and that's exactly what makes firing it up again so compelling whenever you die and run out of flame. If there's any flaw with The Last Flame, it's the nomenclature curve you gotta get over. I was 10 hours deep before I was finishing runs without quick glossary reminders to relearn how bleed works in this game for the umpteenth time. But that's a small price to pay for what you get in return. Even sans getting in the weeds and all the interesting ways it plays with builds and stats, you have this competent genre contender where you don't need to worry about your opponent looking up all the right answers on Mobalytics or whatever. The Last Flame is an auto-battling roguelite rich with strategy and nearly endless build-making opportunities. Its already wide roster is made all the wider thanks to how flexibly each of them can be equipped and paired up. The resulting game is one that's not only an excellent auto-battler, but a team-building RPG fantasy that lets you live the highs of extracting the most out of motley crews. I cannot wait to see where its early access period takes it, and honestly I just can't wait to go play it some more.